Most people don't know how much they need to retire. Do you? If you don't know that number, it's really hard to know whether you're on track or what you should be doing differently today. If you want to know how to estimate your retirement number, keep watching. One of the most common things I see is people putting as much as they can into their 401k, but they don't actually know what they're working towards. And that can create a problem because without a target, it's hard to know whether you're saving enough or, on the other side, if you're sacrificing more than what you really need to. For a lot of people, especially couples, one person wants to save aggressively and the other wants to enjoy more of life right now. Having a goal helps bring clarity to that. Once you know how much you need to save each month, you can feel more confident about what you're doing and more comfortable enjoying what's left. The first step is simple. Decide how much you'd want to live on each month in retirement. For this example, we'll use $8,000 per month. Multiply that by 12. Now you've got your yearly retirement income target. Multiply that by 25, and that gives us a rough estimate of the amount you'd need saved to support that lifestyle. Why 25? Because $96,000 is 4% of $2.4 million. And 4% is often used as a general retirement withdrawal benchmark. Now, of course, every person is different, and this should always be considered in the context of your investments and your plan. But for a quick estimate, it's a helpful starting point. Next, we need to account for inflation, because unless you're retiring today, $2.4 million in the future won't buy what $2.4 million buys today. To adjust for that, you can use a compound interest calculator. I'll link one in the description of this video. You'll plug in your total amount needed, how many years until retirement, and 3% for inflation, since that's the long-term average. Once you do that, you'll see your retirement number grow. Now, you have a much more realistic target. So now the question becomes, how do we get there? Go back into your calculator and enter what you already have saved for retirement, how much you're contributing each month, and be sure to include any employer match. Then you'll estimate your return. For a more aggressive, growth-oriented portfolio, you might use 10%, which is roughly the long-term average of the S&P 500. If you want to use a more conservative estimate, 6 to 8% may be more appropriate. Once you plug those numbers in, you can start to see what it may actually take to reach your goal. And if you've never done this before, one thing becomes very obvious very quickly. Time makes a huge difference. Hopefully, what you're already doing gives you a solid path towards your goal. And if not, that's okay too, because now you know early enough to be able to make adjustments. It's important to remember that this is just a starting point. It doesn't factor in things like Social Security, taxes, or every variable that could affect your retirement. But it's a really helpful way to stop guessing and start planning with more clarity. If you'd like help turning this into a clear, personalized plan, feel free to reach out to my office or visit PriorityFinancialPlanning.com to learn more.